Hello everyone. I decided that I would do a video, which I don't usually do because I'm not that good at them, and I'm also only shooting them on my iPhone with a little tripod because I haven't got all this kind of whizzy camera equipment that some people have got. So for example, there's my laptop, which was reflecting in my glasses and looking crazy. What's that? There's something else reflecting in my glasses. I don't know what it. Oh, that's my phone reflecting in my glasses. As you can tell, quite a lot to learn about this. So I've just done IBD hour. We've just done the March IBD hour, talking about the NHS crisis and IBD. I did a little poll before we started it, and 85% of people thought there was a crisis in the NHS. And we had a discussion about that, and we went through the different things, and people were like, oh, yeah, I can see my GP, that's not a problem, oh, that's good. I can get hold of my IBD nurse if I need to, that's really good. Can I get access to the medication that I need? Starting to fall apart a little bit there. No, can't get that medication at the moment, or my medication has been changed, maybe to a cheaper one. You can argue that could be a good thing, biosimilars being cheaper, so more people can get them. But some people feel a bit aggrieved about that. And then we touched on what about seeing your consultant or having procedures in hospital? People going, I can still get them, but big delays getting those. So that was a bit not so good for people. And then the final thing was about ostomy, people with stomas, and have they had their supplies restricted in any way? And a couple of people, including myself, have had particular accessories changed to cheaper versions. So perhaps not the end of the world if you can still get something. But yeah, if you have never taken part in IBD Hour, check it out. It's on Twitter. Go to the hashtag IBD Hour, and which is this, and we'll follow at IBD Hour, and you can find all of that, and there's a link there to a Storyfy of the whole thing. But the reason that I have come on to do a video is to take part in the IBD. Do you know, I can't even remember the name of the hashtag. How rubbish am I? So it's the IBD Advocacy Tag. Yes, it is the IBD Advocacy Tag. I don't know if I'm going to be able to edit this video or if this is just going to go all the way through. And I don't know how to do those whizzy transition things where people like post questions and stuff. So sometimes, my blog, because this is going to go on YouTube, I'll link it all over the place. So yes, catalytic, ta-da. Ooh. So yes. Anyway, yes, the IBD Advocacy Tag. So this was started in the last week or so by the Frontback YouTuber, who is one of the American IBD advocates and vloggers. And I watched her video, and then I watched Sarah Ringer's video. Sarah Ringer, who blogs at Inflamed and Untamed, and she was the first IBD blogger that I came across. So I always have this bit of a kind of a fanboy thing for her stuff, and she is often very unwell and doesn't always get to post stuff, but her site is a really, really good resource. And I would highly recommend it. So big up yourself, Sarah, in the US. So the way this works, the IBD Advocacy Tag, is that there are 5 questions which I need to answer. So I will do that now. So question number 1 is, what form of IBD do you have? So I have ulcerative colitis. I was diagnosed in 2005 with ulcerative colitis, and it very quickly got quite nasty. So yeah, just a few months later, I was in hospital having my colon removed. So ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease are the 2 main forms of IBD. I didn't do my glasses as well. Others include microscopic colitis, for example. It affects only the large the large bowel and rectum, as opposed to the whole of the digestive tract, which is affected by Crohn's disease. There are other differences as well, but they are about things like how deep it penetrates and that kind of thing. Crohn's disease, there are kind of more types of, but yeah. So I have ulcerative colitis anyway. I don't. It's tricky. Do I still have ulcerative colitis because I don't have a large bowel? I don't have a colon anymore. So that's in some ways it's gone. But so although I don't have that, I now have a permanent ileostomy. So that's a stoma made out of my ileum, the end of my small intestine. I can still get and still do get some non-intestinal manifestations, extraintestinal manifestations. So fatigue, yes, nasty. Stuff with my skin, I get like itchy and I get dry skin, and sometimes it's hard to know is that because of the IBD or is that just because it's cold outside and I don't drink enough water? Who can say? I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So it's still there. I believe quite strongly that I am not cured. I don't have like bleeding from my bottom anymore because I no longer have a bottom. But yeah, ulcerative colitis, that is my IBD. Question 2. Adjust the glasses again. That's going to get really annoying. If not for you, then for me. Why is IBD advocacy important? So one of the reasons I really wanted to do this video was because of Sarah's post and the way Sarah spoke about IBD advocacy. It gave me like a light bulb moment about what it actually is. So I had always thought about it being like, oh, I'm talking to patients, other people with it, and kind of offering some guidance or some support to them. And actually I realized that that is part of it, but actually it's more about that awareness raising of what inflammatory bowel disease is. And so that is, that just, as I say, I had this kind of light bulb moment and it clicked and I went, oh, okay, so that's what IBD advocacy is. So for me, what that is that's doing my blog and contributing to Facebook groups and having IBD Hour on Twitter and really just kind of creating that space for people to discuss it. So it's about raising awareness, and that raising awareness does two things. One, for people who do not have IBD, it informs them about IBD, and they might have questions and go, oh, I have this, and is it this, and is it the same as IBS? No, it is not. And oh yeah, my friend has it, and everything. So I had never heard of ulcerative colitis before I was diagnosed with it. But when I started talking to people about it, and I often use the thing, because my experience is that not many people have heard of ulcerative colitis, but more people have heard of Crohn's disease. So I say, oh, I have ulcerative colitis, it's like Crohn's disease. And most people will go, oh, my aunt has that, or my uncle, or, my cousin, or someone in my street, or someone I work with, So it's like, oh, actually, so, it's kind of out there. People do know about it. So that's why it's important, number one, to raise awareness of what it is, what it isn't, and the impact that it can have. The other thing is, by being out there, if you like, about my IBD and the fact that I have it, it's going, ooh, okay, so other people have it, and then they know that you have it, and then you feel that you are not alone. And that's where, when I was diagnosed in 2005, broadband was kind of only just coming in, so it was dial-up internet and stuff, and it was all a bit, a bit more restrictive. There was broadband, but it wasn't super fast. You didn't get like video streaming and all of this kind of stuff now that we have now. Facebook was, I don't think I got Facebook until a few years ago. I think I might have had a live journal maybe, but yeah, this is going back a bit pre-YouTube, pre-Twitter certainly. So yeah, so for me, IBD advocacy is that two things. One, raising awareness of IBD for non-IBD people. Say, hello, non-IBD people, let me tell you about it, and give you information. And then for people who do have IBD, it's about saying, hi, I have IBD too, you're not on your own, let's share our experiences, and that will hopefully help you feel a bit better about things. Okay, question 3. I've got the questions written down over here. You might have noticed that already. Describe a socially awkward moment with IBD. So, there I was lying on a bed, having a camera shoved up my bottom, wasn't socially awkward at all because the medical professionals were very professional about it, and that was fine. I think I have two probably. When I had my J pouch, so that is an internal reservoir. So first time I got it removed and I had a stoma, then they made a reservoir out of small bowel to try and get everything back inside, and it's kind of, it's better inside, maybe more helpful for your body image. And I was young and that seemed like a good idea. I had lots of issues with that. I had lots of complications, and I had been to the pub. I had a couple of beers, and I do mean a couple of beers. I don't mean like massive amounts. And I had gone to the toilet before I left the pub, and I was walking home. And this pub was maybe a 20-minute walk, not a long way from my house where I was living at the time. And I was walking home, and I was actually walking over the field near my old primary school. And all of a sudden, I just got this urgency to go to the toilet. It's after 11 o'clock at night. There are no public toilets. And I was just like, okay, I'm not far from home at this point. I'm like a 5-minute walk away from my house. And I go, and I can't do anything else. So I literally, I literally just went to the toilet in my jeans. And now there was no one around, so it wasn't socially awkward in that sense. But it was kind of, it was very unpleasant. I felt really bad about it. And then I kind of got home and had to maneuver the jeans into the washing machine, or we're kind of get rid of all of this. And this is we're talking liquid stool, kind of pretty liquidy stool here at this point, because of the beer. Maybe I hadn't had a lot to eat. I don't know. So this was a fairly mortifying moment for me, and I think why that is an important thing, because actually this is when I had my J pouch, but for people who have IBD and haven't had their colon removed, this is something that can happen. You might suddenly get urgency and really have to go. So where I was, there was nowhere to go, so I just had to go in my trousers. The other one, I think I have had a couple of bag leaks. So when I had my stoma bag, I have had a couple of occasions where my bag has leaked at work, which is pretty nasty, because you're just like, it's just like, people know I'm very open about the fact I have a stoma, but people, you go off to the toilet and you take your little spare bag with you, and you have to do it. And one time I didn't make it. We'd had Nando's for lunch, as I recall, and all of a sudden just and it leaked, stained my shirt. So I then had to take my shirt off, and I had a jumper with me. So I remember wearing this jumper with no shirt for the rest of the day, and just kind of shoving this shirt in a bag and shoving it in my work bag. So yeah, they're my socially awkward moments with IBD. Question 4. What is a common stigma that I run into? I think the biggest one for me, and I suppose it has affected me a bit, is that I don't look sick most of the time, apart from some times when I've been in hospital for extended periods of time and I've lost loads of weight, and I don't look sick. So people are like, well, you seem to be all right. And of course, people see you when you're out and about or doing the shopping. What they don't see is when you then get home and sit on the sofa for an hour and a half because you've just gone and done the grocery shopping, or they don't know how hard it was that at the weekend you got up, you had a shower, and then you went back to sleep. So yeah, the stuff, the hidden stuff, and I guess that's the same not just for IBD but for other health conditions, for mental health conditions and stuff, that you don't look sick, and the whole idea of the invisible illness, and IBD is definitely one of those. So yeah, that's tricky when people look at you, and because they can't see something, they perhaps doubt that you are unwell. And the last one is, what do you want other people to know about IBD? So that's a really good question. I want them to know everything about IBD. I want them, they don't necessarily need to know that, the treatment is this and then blah, 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 blah. But I would just generally like people to be more informed. I think we're quite informed about some illnesses, like, oh, you have asthma, you will have an inhaler. Oh, you have diabetes, you will check your bloods on your blood sugar on a regular basis and perhaps take insulin. We know this stuff about various illnesses, and oh, you have IBD, so your bowels get cross. What? No, So I think we just need more awareness generally of what it means, what the symptoms are, what that might mean for people. Ooh, and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I would like people to know everything about IBD. So yeah, that's a bit of a rubbish answer, though, isn't it? Everything. I think the one thing I would like people to know is, and really appreciate, is that it is a chronic condition that has no cure. So what that means is, it means exactly what it says. It's a chronic condition that has no cure. So people can be treated, people can manage their condition, but ultimately it's not going to go away, and it's going to be with them for life. Okay, so that was my effort at the IBD Advocacy hashtag. So thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, well done. You're probably in a very small group, which will probably include my mother and maybe my wife. Hi. So I need to now tag some people to have a go. So shout out to Shell Laws, aka Stoma in a Teacup. Shout out to Rachel Jury rocking two stomas. Tyler Sky has already done it. I want to do one more. I want to do a guy. Oh yeah, we have a bit of a shortage of the old male IBD vloggers. So I've got two actually. So I'm gonna shout out James Conlon and also Jack Sawyer, who we did a blog post exchange. So yeah, Jack, James, Shell and Rachel, go make videos or do Facebook posts or Instagram posts or whatever you guys would like to do. Okay, I'm going to go and see if I have any video editing software, and if not, this is going to be uploaded in its raw form. So apologies again for the reflection in the glasses. Leave me likes and subscriptions and comments, and particularly comments about how I can dramatically improve my videos. Cheers.